Happy Monday. Welcome back to what I'm now calling working title, the Exit 45 series of mini podcasts. My friend Jess Piper. Hi, Jess.
Hey, friend, how's it going?
It's going all right. It's going better for me, I think, than you because your dog's just dug up a brand new tree.
Do you know how expensive trees are, Joe? Have
I
you?
do. I do.
It is
Yeah.
outrageous. And so
Yeah.
you walk out and see $150 laying in the yard.
Mm.
So I put them up. They're naughty. I put them up. I probably won't even give them a treat.
Yeah.
I will not, however, bring out the gun like Christy Noam with poor Cricket.
Rest in peace, Cricket. I
Poor
still can't
Cricket.
believe. I mean, just knowing, we'll get just knowing that she thought. Literally. And everyone who read that book thought, yeah, that story belongs in this book. And then she went on a press tour and was like, I don't want to talk about that.
And not only that, like she read it, right? Because
Yeah.
she recorded her
Oh,
own
that's
book.
right. That's right. Oh, I don't know how that got in the book. I don't know how that got in the book.
Oh, I read it. Okay, I read it.
But that wasn't me. I don't believe your eyes and ears. They
She's such a
lied.
jerk. Is she the one that was on the stage when Trump was dancing and swaying the other night? I thought so. I thought that was her.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Have you ever seen what she used to look like when she looked
I
like normal
have.
people?
I have. I feel so sorry for Republican women that they have to morph into something, right?
Mhm.
I'm a Midwestern woman, so I'm allowed to be a swamp witch if I want. They're like people, all the time people are like, they're so funny. You know how on Twitter how they're awful and they'll call
Oh,
you awful names, right?
oh, yeah.
And
What's
so I'm
Jess?
I'm always fat. I'm always fat, 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 this and that.
Uh-huh.
I had a woman in my comments say, she's from the Midwest. Actually, she looks about normal. I was
Oh,
like, well, thank you, friend, but well,
thanks.
okay, I'll
Yeah.
take it.
Okay. Sure. That's nice of you. It's like when I meet people in real life, I've had this happen now several times where they go, huh, you're shorter than I pictured you. And I was like, what? You're short. I'm like,
Yeah.
when have I ever been like reaching things like easily? Like, when have I ever given anyone the impression that I was tall? Like, I have small hands. I don't know. I don't. I'm 5'4.5", but like they were like, I just thought you were.
We're the same size. I'm
Oh, there you
five four
go.
and a half.
There you go.
I
And
use
we
that
keep
half.
that half is
I met Jessica Craven in real life in DC, and I was like, "You're so tall," and she goes, "Everybody says that. Everybody's like, oh my God."
That's funny. Like we live in
I
a
know.
world now where you can know someone pretty well or be familiar with them to a degree that like you know a lot of things about them and have interacted with them and you've never met them. So when you finally meet them, you're like, huh,
Huh.
huh, like, you have legs. Yeah. Where have
You're
they been?
taller than 5'4".
Yeah. Well, in New Jersey. In New Jersey, that's we breed small. We're small stock here. I think we've been weathered down by time and probably stress. But yeah, we breed small. So whenever I go to the Midwest, I'm always like, hi.
That's what I was gonna say because they're corn fed. We're all corn fed. My husband's huge, 6'3", just a big guy. My kids are big. The bad thing about being married to a man who's almost a foot taller than you is he hangs everything wrong. Like I
Oh.
can't see the mirrors that he hangs. He put our microwave up, and I had to get on my tiptoes to open the microwave. It was like dust. God, all right.
It just doesn't think in small people terms. Like they think only, yeah, I had a friend who the Murphys, hi Murphys, if you're out there, they were all tall and the dad built the whole home. So their kitchen was built for tall people. So they'd be like, I ate over there all the time. They were like a normal family. And I was like, this is nice. Like you sit down for dinner and they'd be like, can you get something out of the cabinet? Sure. Hold on.
Or the bad thing is like the top of your cabinets when you have tall people over and you don't know they're disgusting and dirty and
Um,
nasty,
oh,
right? And they
yeah.
see everything. I
Hmm.
know.
Fancy houses, though, have tops of cabinets. My old house does not have tops of cabinets. My old house, the cabinets go right up to the top. I always wanted to decorate the tops of cabinets, and I got ceiling. It's peeling ceiling.
Yeah, I feel
Oh
you.
yeah, someday bucket list. I want a refrigerator that has water and ice on the door, and something to put and a space to put decorations above my cabinets.
You are
Now,
supposed to be a coastal elite. What do you mean, right? Like what?
seriously. And people are like, oh my God, she doesn't have water and ice on the door. Ooh, no, I don't even have
That's
an ice
it's
maker.
coming back. It's coming back. The kids like to buy ice trays. Like
Yeah,
it's wild. But
yeah.
anyway,
But then
yeah.
I, but then it's one more thing for me to be like, really? Because you pull the ice tray out and you're like, oh, I can't wait for a nice cold one. and there's nothing. It's just
Nothing.
empty. And it's like, are you serious right now? Do you not where do you think the ice comes from? The ice fairy? It's like the charged phone fairy. Oh,
Yes.
I my phone is dead. Can I have your charger? No. Why don't you have a charger? It's dead. Well, how do you think those things get charged?
Or they have the audacity, like my daughter, to ask me, like when we're arguing over the charger, she'll say, "What percentage are you on?" Oh my God. What do you mean? What does it matter? It's my charger. Oh, I lost you. I lost your
Oh, can
oh,
you hear
there
me
you go.
now?
There you go. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
sorry.
yeah.
I think it was doing that thing that it does, and I think I'm supposed to press like it's not thing where it cuts me out when I get really high pitched and weird.
I can hear
But
you now.
okay, no,
Okay, good.
that thing with the well, what percentage are you on? But I'm on 6. You're on 9. It's like
I don't
this is
care what
mine.
you're on.
This is my charger. This is my charging cord. This is my phone. This is my job. But my phone's gonna die any minute. It's like, oh my God. And you can buy them all the chargers in the world. You can make them work for chargers, charging cords. You can all the chores. They will never have a charged charger. Never. Did I lose you again?
Never.
Okay.
No,
So sorry. Go ahead.
it's syncing weird right now, but let me see. I think you're back now. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
My
Yep. You're
my
perfect.
computer did not like that conversation about technology. Apparently, it's very sensitive. So, but seriously though, the conversation I want to have, I mean, we should shoot to the shit anyway because we're two moms, and let's be real, everybody's out there. We're living it and walking it, and we got to talk about it because it helps makes us feel less insane. But let's talk about feeling insane. You have a couple of tweets I want to talk about. The first one is it's your pinned tweet right now. Psst, that's a fun sound to make. Psst. When they ban abortion and OBGYNs refuse to come to your state, all women lose access to care, not just pregnant women. Pass it on. This is massively important. It's a reality that will not be exclusive to red states if this election goes wrong in November.
It's true. We have 25% less OBGYN doctors who apply to do their residency in Missouri. 25% less. And then I just read a study in one of the journals, and it was for oncologists, and they were talking to oncologists about abortion bans, and they said they are much less likely to apply for residency in a state with an abortion ban because they can't ethically treat pregnant women
Right.
who have cancer. And so by an oncologist not coming, it doesn't just impact pregnant women, right? It impacts everyone in this freaking state who could have cancer.
I well, luckily cancer votes, Democrat, and it doesn't care
Exactly, right,
if
right,
right, it would never touch a Republican or an independent. It's clearly got a preference there. But for real though, it's those screenings to prevent cancer as well, and just standard, you know, care that
right,
women and girls and other people of all stripes, right, cannot have access to without them being in their states, and they're not in their states increasingly, and women are going to die again more than ever.
right. And I mean, trying to get scheduled for a regular exam for a PAP, say, you're already a year out in a lot of places, but now if 25% fewer OBGYNs are coming to your state, you're that further out. I had to drive an hour to deliver a baby that I wanted to be pregnant with. There are people in other parts of the state that are driving an hour and a half. If you're high risk, that's difficult. And so people are like, well, stay close to the hospital. And how would I do that, friend? Right?
Mm,
How buy an apartment?
right.
How would I do the things you're asking me to do? Right?
Mhm.
It's just piling on more and more on women. And I used to think, this is just forced birth stuff. They just want more people. Now I'm like, I think they want people dead because it doesn't magically happen that you have more babies when you reduce, hospitals and doctors.
Yeah, I think you're right. I mean, it's not just forced birth. I mean, every element of it is about control, right? And about
Yeah,
having the ultimate control and power, but deciding who lives and dies is
right.
is part of that. And also sort of this idea that in the interests of refilling the population and the baby supply and stuff, that they're willing to sacrifice a couple of women here or there, a couple thousand women here or there, like a couple girls here, thousand girls here and there. It again speaks to um them just being all powerful, all controlling, that they can determine whether we live or die, and nothing in their lives looks even remotely like that. Nothing in their lives, like, I mean, there's no hospitals for them to go to, right? Either. So,
No.
right.
No,
So they're,
my husband had a medical emergency, and we went to the local hospital who couldn't really help him. I mean, they patched him up a little bit to send him 2 hours south, right? And so that's an everyday occurrence where I live in rural America. And again, it begets the question: what does the family do? Do I sleep in my car?
yeah,
Right? Do
right.
I drive 2 hours home and something happens, and then I've got 2 hours back?
Mm,
And so closing hospitals and doing this sort of thing is just saying, we literally don't give a shit about you. We
yeah,
don't care what
yeah.
happens to you.
Yeah, and they keep proving that in
Hmm.
all things. I mean, they proved it in COVID as well. They're proving it with these abortion exceptions that are not exceptions at all.
Right,
They're proving it too. Like if you say something that is factual, for instance, Amber Thurman, or you could just talk about Kate Cox or any of these stories that we know to be true. You mention them anywhere on social media, and the bulk of the responses are, first of all, that that's not true.
right,
And the second tier is to blame those women somehow.
right,
And right.
right.
So they've indoctrinated the whole entire culture of MAGA and, largely the Republican Party. I mean, you can't really separate the two into this, like, they just don't care. If they choose to even believe reality at all, they don't care.
They don't care. And it's so weird that it's coming from evangelicals. I grew up in that community. We were taught to take care of each other. And now, of course, I grew up because I'm nearly 50 years old. So I grew up before the prosperity doctrine. And
Mm.
that changed our church altogether when it started being you're blessed if you have money, you're blessed if you have health. God has chosen you for these things. Everybody else, you must have done something to anger God, or you would be doing better, which is why it's hard for me to stomach the hashtag blessed stuff, right? Because I'm
Mhm.
like, God blessed you to be able to build a new closet, but there's a kid dying of cancer. I'm so confused about this line of thinking.
Yeah, I mean, again, they do the same thing with Trump's assassination attempts, and I air quotes. I don't really know, the
Yeah.
second, whatever. But they say that he was blessed and spared by God in that moment, saved by God in that moment. But there's a firefighter who was not. But also, those kids who die in school shootings aren't blessed. I just don't. Again, I don't understand. What did they do wrong exactly?
Right. Right.
Uh, yeah, it's all hypocrisy. That's the thing. They'll all bend themselves into whatever pretzels they need to accommodate their own already preconceived biases about what they're doing, so also to justify what they're doing. And evangelicals have really kind of jumped the shark on that. Like, what the ends really do justify the means in all things. This is like a war that they're waging in whatever means necessary. That's Mike Johnson, pretty much, right? We talked about how Mike Johnson ran unopposed.
Right. Exactly. And to abortion for a minute, I don't know if you had it down to talk about it, but I know that you saw that my AG signed onto a suit claiming that children who aren't giving birth in Missouri are injuring our state by not producing children and revenue.
Mhm.
I saw a tweet about it, and somebody said Andrew Bailey had signed onto it, and I was like, "There's no way. There's no way it's going to say that, right?" Because you and I mean, we say lots of stuff, we talk a lot, but at the end of the day, I do look at my sources and I go back to see
Mhm.
it says it in the suit. It says
Mhm.
it right there.
Mhm.
Children not reproducing in my state are causing a loss of revenue. So they are suing to ban mifepristone because these children can access it without have to, and it specifically says they don't have to drive long distances to abortion clinics like they used to. Now they can access it online, and they're causing injuries to my state because of the loss of revenue.
Because those factories, those uterine factories that are teenage and young girls
15,
aren't
it
15 to
showed the
19.
ages 15 to 19.
Yeah. Yeah. They just say it out loud. They just,
Sophomores. Those are sophomores in high school.
my
15.
son, right. My son's 15. Like, his peers are 15. My daughter's just on the verge of, she's 11. And like, that's right there. It's just, that they say it out loud. That we're here now. We are here now because JD
Yeah.
Vance says all the things out loud too. Trump said it would punish women. Now JD Vance, he says your role in life, my role in life is to basically grandparent our kids.
Yeah. Which
They,
actually, my son would be real happy if that's what I did for a living.
yeah.
It would save him about $2,000 a month, right?
Right. Well, but that's their whole plan. That's their plan. They don't
Yeah,
care about saving their plan for saving you money. Their concept of a plan to save you money on childcare is to just have your parents watch your kids. Because who doesn't have a
yeah,
spare parent? I mean, my parents are both in heaven. So,
yeah.
Dad, if you get a chance, could you just come back? Because I need a babysitter. And JD
I
Vance said
know. Pull the urn off, right? Watch the kids, Dad.
that.
Let's. That's my. Hey, Daddy.
I'll just bring part of the Atlantic Ocean because that's where my dad's widow spread his ashes without his children, which is another story for another day.
Oh,
We're,
girl,
oh,
listen. We have so.
really?
I probably can't say much about it without having some sort of lawsuit at my door, but
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I should be careful probably too. But we could talk about that offline and it'll be in the
yeah.
book. Um, but also like, but the thing is like, yes, they're saying the things out loud because they don't think it matters. And they don't think anybody cares or will hold them accountable to it or for it. But the truth of the matter is at the end of the day, that's actually not true. And I
Right.
think what we're seeing in red state after red state and hopefully in yours upcoming is that the people are like, I'm sick of this. And that's another tweet of yours. This one went super, super viral. Like this one has, I mean, there's more likes on this tweet than people who live in like a lot of the countries in like Africa and Asia.
My town is 480 people, so every time I'm
Yeah.
always like, that's hilarious.
That's yeah, right. So this one's like over 300, I think, well over that, maybe even more. So but it's this why I know why this is such a successful tweet because it's powerful, but also because it resonates because it's true. White women, your vote is private. I don't care what kind of sign your husband has put out in your yard or what your pastor preaches on Sunday. You can vote your conscience. You can vote for your children and your grandchildren. No one will know. And man, oh man, is that powerful because it's true. And that's what a lot of women are scared of, but they shouldn't
It
be.
made a lot of people mad. When you reference white women as a white woman, it's insane how many are like, you're racist. This is what we're doing, Joe. We're calling in our people. I have
Uh-huh.
no business talking uh, in telling any person how to vote in the Black community, in the LGBTQ community. I have every reason to pull in women
Yeah.
who historically have voted for Donald Trump. And
Hmm.
a lot of people get mad about that too. They're like, not me. Then I'm not talking to you, friend. I'm
Yeah.
talking to the ones who did, right? And it was over 53% of people who look like us who did
Mm.
it.
Yep.
And I'm telling you, I saw some research on women who filled out their ballots at home with their husbands there and how they voted compared to going to the polls and voting.
Mm.
And I'm just like, don't fill it out in the house with him. I mean,
Mm-mm.
if you have to wait until he's gone, whatever. But hey, go the day of and vote if at all possible.
Or if your
That way
state,
you don't have someone breathing over your shoulder about it, right?
exactly, or if your state has early voting, which I don't know how many red states
We
do, but
do.
yeah.
Yeah. And we just got no excuse. So I can go tomorrow. We used to have to provide an excuse to early vote,
Oh,
but we
that's
don't
good.
have mail in voting unless there's like really tight restrictions on that. But
Mm.
that's why I was talking to white women. I had a lot of people say, oh my gosh, what are they scared of? They're scared of their community. They're scared of their church. They're scared of being ostracized. They're scared of being like me, whenever I go to town and someone's got something snide to say. Which I don't care. Say it louder. Say it to my face. Not when I turn around, right? But
Mm-hmm.
that's the thing we have to do. And that's why I'm such a loudmouth in the place I am. That's why I have 7 signs, whenever you drive by, you see, because I know that I'm empowering some woman to make a choice that maybe she wouldn't if she didn't think anybody else was also making that choice.
Yeah, and then I mean, that's what's so I think amazing about our ability to vote and have it be, private. That we can use that moment. That's our kind of contract with our democracy. Like we can use our moment to actually really truly reflect our voices authentically. And very few places in life can you really do that. Where
Right.
someone isn't, I mean, we're not asking everybody to go out there and, knock on doors or make phone calls or have the bumper stickers or the signs. That may not be certainly not what you're comfortable with, but your conscience can
Hmm.
guide you to making a choice that will reflect that will shape your reality and your future and the future for your like you said your kids and your grandkids. You should be able to use that voice to make change. You should be able to do
Right.
that. If anywhere on earth or should you be able to do that, it's there. And I think I hope I I really do believe that we are seeing a lot of people not saying when pollsters call, if they're the kind of people who answer their phones or when asked, in these red places, how they're going to vote. I don't think that a lot of people do feel like they can just say, yeah, oh yeah, I'm 100% voting for Kamala because I don't like blank. They might just either not or ignore the question altogether, or just toe the line. They're the fabric of their realities, their existences in their communities, sort of requires that they not be contrary. You know what I mean? And so having that vote be secret so that nobody knows is fantastic, but they need to remember that.
I'll tell you what's really problematic is that we are fairly sure that it's abortion is going to pass in Missouri. They've done poll after poll, and it's usually around 53% are polling that, women should have the right to make their own decisions. It's only about 38% that are saying absolutely not. But here's the problem. So 53% are saying yes, give women the right to their body. And then around 60% are saying they're going to vote for Josh Hawley.
Mm.
So you're like friends.
Mm.
If you
Hmm.
vote, if you do this and we get our rights back, it's not going to matter in my state because the Republican state senators have said, do what you want. We don't care. We're going to unravel it in January. You sweet kids can do whatever you want, but the adults are going to take it apart as soon as we come back in session. I have to, and I've been saying it over and over again, you cannot vote to give bodily autonomy back to women and then vote for Republicans. You cannot. And that's problematic in places like mine because I don't have a state rep to vote for. I don't have a state senator to vote for because they're all Republicans. They're uncontested.
It's Ohio has tried every which way they can, every day of the week and twice on Sunday to undo
Yes.
that vote. And they are not done trying. But
Yeah.
the problem is, and I don't know what's going to happen in Missouri if they do that, because the problem is a lot of the reason that the people are voting for these ballot measures has to do with democracy, has to do with their voices, has to do with their autonomy over their lives, right? Has to do with their ability to participate the way they've always been taught they are told they would be able to participate in this little experiment of ours. And when it's one thing to take it for granted, not participate. It's another thing to tell people, no, I don't want you to have that opportunity anymore. I want to take that from you. Yes, I've been taking it from you for a long time, but we weren't really talking about it back then. But now I'm just going to tell you to your face. I don't want you to
Yeah.
have that. I don't want you to have that kind of freedom you have on your truck, the kind of freedom, I tell you that I'm fighting for. No, I don't want you to have that. And by telling the people, good people of Missouri, we don't care how you feel about this issue. We don't care that the majority of you, which is supposed to be how things work around here, told us, told the world, this is how you feel. We don't care. We're going to undo it. So you don't get a say. So you don't get a voice. So you cannot participate fully. We are going to decide that. And I
Okay.
think in Ohio, there's been a lot of pushback against these measures and these attempts that the legislature has taken to undo what they have done. They're not done. And I wonder how the people of Missouri will respond to that as well, because I mean, I imagine the pushback is going to be significant. And there is a point where they might yield, right? Like, I mean, I don't know.
So they have been able to unravel things we've done before. We passed something called Clean Missouri in 2018, which meant that they couldn't take, it was basically anti-gerrymandering is what it did. And it really pissed off the Republicans because they have all the electorate they're going to have, right? They have to gerrymander or they can't win. It's just
Right.
not possible. So when we passed the amendment and we were like, you can't gerrymander anymore, they patted us on the head and then they put another ballot amendment. And this is something you should know too. For us to put ballot initiatives on the ballot, we have to collect signatures, hundreds of thousands of signatures. When our lawmakers do it, they just get to put it on the ballot. They don't have to collect signatures.
Mm.
So the next year, they were like, we have to gerrymander. They put it on our ballot. They use something called ballot candy, which is confusing language. And the very first line said, limit lobbyist gifts to $5. So everybody read that and they were like, hell yeah. And they marked it. Down below, it unraveled our amendment. And that's what they're doing this year with ranked choice voting, which is fantastic. I wish we could have it. It eliminates the extremism on both sides, actually, right? And it pushes everyone more towards moderation. The ballot candy on that one, because the Republicans don't want ranked choice voting, says only Missouri citizens can vote in elections. It's in our
Mm.
Constitution. What do you mean? They
Mm,
already can't. So this is what they do. Like Ohio, they tried to confuse people, and that's what they do here. And the problem is, Joe, it's so expensive to educate folks. It is millions and millions of dollars to have people knocking doors and say, they're going to confuse you, friend. This is what they're going to say first, but this is what it actually does, right? The
mm,
education campaigns are terribly expensive, and they know that. And that's why they cheat,
mhm.
gerrymander, lie, all the things.
Yeah, and it's certainly not about we the people
No,
because right, it's yeah, we the people insofar as what you can make a decision and if we like it, we'll go with it, but most likely we're just going to do what we want to do anyway, which is
right,
not democracy. And that's what they're trying as much as anything, if not more than anything. That's what they're trying to put up a dam against. That's what the
right.
wall is trying to be built against to stop us from evolving as societies do and using our voices to change society as that's the whole goal. But well, in theory anyway. Oh gosh. Well, we'll be talking about this more. There's so much to talk about. We are getting closer and closer to the edge of the cliff. It's pretty terrifying. But I'm so glad to be in this fight with you and have this kind of clarity and these kind of conversations because, I don't, I hope that people are out there seeking other sources of information than they're getting from, the people around them, directly around them. Because there's a lot of information to be had that will hopefully give them the guidance they need, the truth, you
Yeah,
know?
absolutely. And that is what they need. And that's what's problematic right now, information silos, but people are
Mm.
reaching out. They're going into Substack and they're finding places where people are telling the truth. So yeah. And I'm glad
That's
to be in this fight with you too, friend. I mean,
mm.
it's a every day, every day.
Every day and it just some days it ebbs and flows and some days you're like we're on top of the world and then the next day you're like oh my God, this is the darkest thing, and then he talks about Arnold Palmer's dick and you're like what is happening right now, what is
I
happening right now? Oh,
I was laughing about it with my husband, and my daughter's like, "What are you laughing about?" And I was like, "Nothing. I can't tell you what the ex-president said, right?" How embarrassing.
it's just so it's weird. We got to get back to calling him weird. It's weird, but it's also, I mean,
Ew.
like Mika Brzezinski said this morning, she was like, "We are so bored of you talking about your genitalia. We get it. The obsession. This is where we are now." And that, like, my first tweet of the morning, I was listening to NPR. They're like, "Well, over the weekend, Donald Trump held a campaign rally where he talked about a deceased golfer's anatomy and said he would imprison his rivals with our military, and that police officers should be able to, shoot and kill people at will. We'll be traveling to swing states later to talk about why this race is statistically tied."
I know.
We Cocaine Bear
Yes.
is our candidate versus Wonder Woman, and it's like I don't know, guys. This race is a toss up.
I know. You just walk around and you're in the upside down world. None of it doesn't make sense on any realm, any universe. This is upside down.
Mhm.
And the close thing is right too. You're like, how can this be? But you know what they say about us? They're like, how could they do this? How could they vote for her? How could it be close? And you're just like,
Uh,
so as
Yeah.
crazy as they seem to us, that's how we seem to some of them too. And
Mhm.
I would know. I would know.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh my gosh. The baby thing. They all around here. They really do believe that they're eating the pets and they're eating the babies. Well, on that note, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go work the fryer at McDonald's. In solidarity. This,
Oh,
this McDonald's will be open, folks.
there you go.
Thank you, Jeff.
It
As
was so
always,
good to talk to you,
talk
Joe.
to you too. A little dose of
Let's
Sam.
do it again soon.
We will do it next week. We'll figure out a set time, and if not, you just look. I'll put it up. We'll look first, and I'm going to start putting these
Whatever.
on YouTube too. So everybody look for that. I'm going to share my YouTube channel. It's going to be in my link tree, which is a word I say. Like I'm cool. Well, I'm not. But yeah, they're going to go on YouTube as well. So that's a new place we can sort of branch out and see how people like it. Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Well, Jess, have a wonderful day, and I'm sorry about your tree. Damn, damn.
I'm gonna go cover it up right now.
Ugh, dogs, man. All right. Talk to you soon.
All right, bye,
Bye.
friend.